When she's seated, we'll get started. Good evening. Thank you for coming. This is the Budget Advocates Education and Coaching meeting. There's a handout of several pages, 16 altogether. We will move quickly through them. About complex questions, please make a note if you have a question, a really long question, and we'll get back to it. But the odds are we will cover it later on in the presentation. So make that note, and we want to answer your question, but wait to see if it gets answered first. This is single sentence comments are very welcome, especially from those people who have attended meetings before, like Tony, or are coming back as budget advocates, like Carol and Carol. First thing we're going to do tonight is ask for you to answer two questions. The first one is, why did you sign up to be a budget advocate? And a single sentence answer would be perfect. And the second question is, what skill or background will help you to be effective? Let's start with Carol Newman. Sorry?
Several years ago now. I wanted my neighborhood, my area of the valley to have representation on the budget advocates. That's honestly why. Our neighborhood councils had never been visited by a budget advocate, and I was approached to run someone who would be local. What skill or background will help me to be effective? What I do all day is write. I'm a writer. I'm a lawyer. Lawyers mostly write. That's what we do. So that's what will help me.
Thank you, Carol. And we really appreciated your work last year and look forward to it this year. Carol?
So why did I sign up? Try to help my neighborhood. You know, like Carol, we didn't have anyone ever come. And when I tried to figure out who our representative was, so now I know who our representative is. It's me. What skill? Well, you know, I'm an accountant, although I'm retired, a CPA. So I do, and I worked budgeting for a major company here in LA years ago. But you know, just try to see what's going on. You know, I've been here since I was 3 years old, which is a long time. Just try to see what's going on in this city.
A noble goal to help your neighborhood, and you have a very important skill. Tony?
Okay, I signed up because I was frustrated with city services and how they were being provided, and I thought that this might be an effective way to improve that by direct meetings with departments. And the skill that I bring is, before I retired, I was a hospital administrator, so I have a lot of experience in large organizations and analytical sort of skills and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll help.
Yeah, so you're interested in services that can be provided to your neighborhood, and management skills are very important when you're talking to city managers. Evelyn?
Signed up to be a budget advocate because I know that our tax dollars are being.
Can you speak up, please, Evelyn?
I signed up to be a budget advocate because I've heard that our tax dollars aren't being spent correctly, and I would like to hold people accountable for not spending them correctly.
Your skills?
My skill is public speaking.
Whoa, okay. Maybe you'll be here next year. Yes. And you are Jose?
Yes. The reason why I joined is because I became treasurer for the Wise Neighborhood Council, saw that there was things that could be changed, and then I realized that there's budget advocates and wanted to take it a step further. And for the east side, I have a voice as well.
Ooh, an analytical person, watch out. You are KJ, right? KJ.
Why did I sign up to be a budget advocate? It was a vet. No. So really, I just wanted to understand how the city works, and particularly how the city, not so much the city, how neighborhoods, how people are represented in the city. So I wanted an understanding, and I believe you follow the money. So I'm budget advocating to learn how to follow the city's money. Background. So I am an accountant also, specifically in business management space, which is like a catch-all trade. And I'm also very analytical. I'm a good people person. All those things seem like they should help.
Okay, analytical and a people person, a good combo for the budget advocates. Hi, and you are? And would you?
So why I decided to become a budget advocate? Because the budget advocate that was on our board, she was leaving, and she suggested I run. So I ran, and as I'm going to these meetings, I really want to represent my community. South Philly is always put on the back burner for everything, and that's a community I grew up in. That's what I want to represent. So that's why I became a budget advocate.
And your background?
Writing, I just received my master's.
Sorry?
Writing, I just received my master's. With social media.
Writing, so you're going to have no difficulty doing reports. Yay! John.
Okay.
Oh, one sentence about why you have wanted to be and remain a budget advocate, and one sentence about your background and skills.
I happen to believe that with a little bit of experience, I can do it better. So I want to do it better this year than I did it last year. And skills, depends on who you talk to. Some will say none, some will say that I'm a good troubleshooter.
Aha, a troubleshooter. Yeah, okay, yeah. Plenty of troubleshooting to go around, I'm sure. Thank you. I'm going to say about my experience, I had a career with the County of Los Angeles. I was a manager, and I've been several years with the Budget Advocates. I've met with many departments, prepared talking points, encouraged budget advocates to do the research and attend the meetings, which is kind of like outreach. And I've prepared reports, lots of them. So I bring a lot of skills, which I really want to share. It's a privilege to meet with top managers, a unique and unprecedented opportunity to bring the concerns of our neighbors and our neighborhoods to the attention of the city departments. We probably can identify no other volunteer kind of position that can reach out to so many different departments. So I wanted to learn about the city departments, and I wanted to perhaps make changes that would benefit our city and especially our neighborhoods and the services that our neighborhoods need. We have a variety of backgrounds, and we really need a variety of backgrounds when it comes to the work of the budget advocates. We this evening are going to share experiences, and I'm really delighted to see 3 returning budget advocates and 2 budget representatives from last year who are advocates this year, and so have some experience as well, because they attended some meetings, especially ones that I was the chair for. And so I know that they have a lot to offer this year as well. My goal this evening is that you will have the information you need to hit the ground running, that you will have the tools to start and do team meetings right out of the gate. So that's why I want you to ask questions. If there's something that you don't understand, either I can answer it or our returning budget advocates can answer it.
Could I amplify on one thing you mentioned that I think is important? Neighborhood councils were founded about 16, 17 years ago because there was a disconnect between the communities and the city government and the city itself. If you look at the charter, the primary goal of a neighborhood council is to interpret the city to the community and to interpret the community to the city. Working as a budget representative or a budget advocate, talking to these general managers or upper echelon department heads, you have a goal, you have an opportunity that most neighborhood council people don't have in fulfilling the primary function of a neighborhood council before them, which is you are in between both the community and the city, and you can help interpret one to the other.
And that really is important. You received at the retreat a handout that included many pages of the bylaws that include, I believe, at the very beginning, a statement much like what you just said, John, about the charter and the mandate that neighborhood councils have that budget advocates actually fulfill. Correct? Carol has done, she's our parliamentarian, and she has done a lot of work with the bylaws, but I don't think she can spew them.
Memorized yet. That's correct. That'll be our goal, no.
What is the budget and why is it important? The budget assigns dollars to what the city will do with its revenues. How the government allocates its resources is the clearest explanation of what the government values. The city's priorities are reflected in its budget. The budget is more than where the money gets spent. The budget also involves projected revenues, fees the city charges for the services it provides, timing expenses to be sure the city does not get ahead of revenues, adjustments throughout the year, long-range planning, where new revenue will come from, and the impact of those revenues on city residents, businesses, and lots more. The role of budget advocates has grown over the years. As John mentioned, neighborhood councils have been around for 16, 17 years. In the beginning, budget advocates were neutral observers. They came to watch what was going on, and they didn't have much of a say, if any. Then, after a year, 2 or 3, they started meeting with general managers and their budget people. Then, advocating for or against items in individual department budgets. For the last 8 years or more, budget advocates have produced the white paper, and I brought a copy over there. You have one? Hold it up for us. Yes, the white paper, over 100 pages, and there are also many white papers from time to time and letters that the budget advocates might send. The white paper is published and distributed to the mayor, the city council, the city departments, and neighborhood councils. Budget advocates meet with the mayor twice a year, we hope soon this month, to discuss goals at the beginning of the budget cycle, which will be like right now, and later on, April, to deliver the budget advocates white paper. At a hearing of the Budget and Finance Committee, that's 5 members of the City Council, 5 City Council people. The budget advocates sit at the council table right there in the middle of the horseshoe, and they discuss budget issues. This is probably the only opportunity that individuals have to speak to these 5 council members and be spoken back to. In other words, a conversation, a discussion, not just a 1 minute or 2 minute statement and then you go sit down. What can you do as a budget advocate? You can participate actively on a team and meet with a department that you want to learn more about, or you have a question about the services that department provides. You can let team members know what you question about a specific department, what you think they ought to be looking into, what services they ought to be providing, or who knows, maybe that are no longer needed. You can learn about city departments, review all the resources available. There is so much you can look at. You can look at last year's departmental budget, the department's website, the rosters for the department, prior years, there are multiple ones of them on the Budget Advocate reports. You can look at news reports. You can look at lists of neighborhood concerns. You can speak with those using department services. You can talk to employees of city departments and ask questions like, what do you need to do the job more effectively? Ask yourselves, what do you think a department's priorities ought to be? What you think they may need to do more of, and what possibly they could do less of that is no longer needed. Get involved with support activities beyond meetings with departments. You can do with the budget advocates outreach. We need more outreach. Media involvement of all sorts. You can work on the website that we have, like a webmaster. You can work on Regional Budget Day if we should ever have one again, which may not be likely. And you could work on Budget Day, of course, in June. And you can participate in putting together the white paper. There are plenty of resources that you can look at for information about the departments. You can look at the CAO's budget information, the controller's dashboard, written reports from the department. You can do internet searches about the department and talk with budget advocates who have had experience with the department, as well as speaking with stakeholders who use the department's services. And that latter item, I think, is all important. For instance, you can ask the people who use building and safety services that they're asking, for instance, for an inspection after your HVAC unit is installed. You can ask them, do you have everything you need to do your job effectively? Let's turn the page and to page 4. This is the org chart for the city of Los Angeles. And I think it should be updated. And I've spoken to the office of Councilman Rue about showing the neighborhood council on this org chart. If you have an idea about how it might be shown, let me know and I'll be in touch with them. But it needs to be there, right along with the electorate. The people, the voters elect the city council, 15 members, the mayor, the city attorney, and the city controller. That's all for elected officials. Then the departments that are set up under the city charter are there in the second row. I think there are 7 of them, and also the city legislative analyst appears there as a charter entity. The next row is 3 charter departments that have commissions. Not every department has a commission. Then there are ordinance departments. These are not part of the original city charter, but rather were voted into existence under a city ordinance. There are 7 of those. The next line includes 9 departments that have citizen commissions. The line below that is for independent charter departments. There are 7 of them. And each of these is headed by a citizen commission. The House, yes.
Can you explain what that means?
About city commissions or about departments?
Well, citizen commission.
City commissions are ordinarily appointed by the mayor. Actually, I'm on a city commission. They're appointed by the mayor, and they make decisions that are meant to run the department as they provide an overview of the department, and they're like an extra authority that can make decisions for the department that the department head would then implement.
Which department are you going for?
My commission, the one I'm on, is revenue enhancement, and it's an advisory commission, so it's not related to one of the departments. Yes? Question? Sorry, question?
No, that's what I was asking you, which department you were in. You said revenue enhancement, but that's not listed here.
No, it's an ad hoc commission. It's not related to a department. The Housing Authority is a state, was set up under a state law. It reports to the mayor, and it has a city commission. The bottom lines have to do with the Board of Public Works. Only one city department has a full-time commission. The commissioners are appointed by the mayor. I think it's really interesting that the president of that commission is Kevin James, who ran for mayor against Eric Garcetti. And there are 5 important bureaus under the Board of Public Works. And ordinarily, the budget advocates meet with the bureaus as well as many, if not most, of the departments. The next page, this is a page of links. And I sent it out to you earlier, so maybe you had a chance to look at these links. But we're going to go over them today because it's really important that you know where to find things. So we're starting with the ncbala.com. At the top row, you see this is home. We're on home. Next over, can you click on responsibilities? This is a whole page of bullet points. At your leisure, take a look at these bullet points because these are the expectations. So by the way, I'm going to say something later about bullet points. I believe, and I think people who structure written materials believe, that you should have no more than 6 bullet points. And if you have more than 6 points you want to make 2 headings or more, so that people can easily look at your points, and it's well organized. It'll be easier for people to understand. So here we have responsibilities. Next, we have bylaws. You want to click on the bylaws and open them up? And perhaps the charter amendment. I think it's down a little further. Here it is. Section 3, Authority and Power, describes that the neighborhood council is authorized to act under the budget. Are authorized to act under the city charter, section 909. John stated it well. How about going back to the home page and clicking.
Question, Barbara.
Yeah.
I have a question. Is this amended April 1, 20?
Sorry, Connie?
The last date of that was amended April 1, 2018. What exactly was amended?
Oh.
Well, we didn't, I have to say, we have not consistently tracked every change as to when it was made. I believe it was elections that was changed.
Description of offices, I believe.
Well, right, it was Articles 3 and 4, to the best of my recollection.
That's correct.
There have been almost annual changes to the bylaws. Next, we have agendas. Meetings coming up, followed by minutes. And you can click on Open Minutes. Minutes, yay. We're almost up to date, not quite. Resolutions. I'm not sure we have any resolutions. Back. Home. Maybe click on home over there. Okay, resolutions. Here's one from August 9th, 2016. Not quite up to date. Let's try financials.
Have we done any in the last year or two?
Lots of treasurer's reports. Contact us. Let's see if anything's there. This is a way to contact us. Interesting address.
Yeah,
It's an old address for a secretary. Okay, let's go back to home.
now who's the upkeep person for this? Who does the upkeep?
Actually, 1 second. We can click on Budget Advocates white paper. No, next one down. Yes. What?
Like, that change that needs to be made, who's the person that will change that?
We should take care of that when we meet with the executive committee on Saturday and decide who is changing that. I think there are several updates that need to be made. Okay, just for the heck of it, because we're here, let's click on the white paper. Yay! Everyone has a copy right there on your computer. Connie.
So you said that the contact person needs to be changed?
Yes. And actually, there's an,
It needs to be updated.
yes, actually, there's one more thing if you can scroll way down. And right there, news and information, Los Angeles 2020 Commission. At your leisure, once again, you can look at the two reports. This is one, and the 2020 Commission produced two reports. And this is several years ago that these were produced. And many of the recommendations are the recommendations that are reflected in the first few pages of this year's, well, actually April's white paper. Jack Humphreyville was responsible for writing the first few pages there with input from others. And many of the recommendations that he made were originally made by the 2020 Commission that did an in-depth study of the financial status of the city and what we can expect for the future and what we should be doing.
Who was that person?
Sorry?
Is it a citizen commission? Was it a citizen commission or was it
A citizen commission. In fact,
So it was a
the-
budget advocate kind of?
yeah, a lot of prestigious people. In fact, Buettner, who was recently selected to be LAUSD executive, was on that commission. And several other people whose names, if you're familiar with Los Angeles politics, were also on the commission.
And I have a question, that commission was that appointed by the mayor?
I don't recall for sure, but I
Pretty
believe
sure
so.
the city council.
A mayor and the city
Well,
council?
at least I know the city council was the one that was primarily
Oh.
responsible for appointing it.
The city council. Next, we should look at under links for city government information. Let's look at the city directory. That's it. Okay, it starts with departments and bureaus, and this is good. It starts where you want to look. So if you're looking for, let's say, the city administrative officer, the CAO, that's where you look. You could send an email, but let's click on the roster. Oh, you won't.
Which one's the roster?
The green, the phone. This is the entire roster that they released publicly anyway, of the office of the CAO. And we will be hearing from Jacob Wexler. Where does he appear here? I think he reports to Ben. Yes, Finance Specialist 5, Jacob Wexler. He will be the trainer for the next training session. Okay, let's go back to the city directory and just scroll through it. And let's hit the I for one of the departments. Rec and Parks, yay! These are explanations about what the mission is, what the work is of the various departments. Okay, let's go back. Well, let's go to the next link, which is your government. Oh. How about clicking sign back in? We're going through a lot of
Alright, so,
the department's
and,
stuff.
uh,
Do you use Edge or Chrome? Chrome?
and where were we? Sorry, say it again.
Chrome?
Where do you find document platform?
It was on our website. List of-
Anyway, some, what was it?
It was under, training video on job.
We
Right, and then budget day was the closest thing.
these are old. These are not accurate.
All right, well, I don't know what else to do other than this.
Can we type them in?
That's what we have to do.
But at least for the some of them are identical. Which one you want to go now? Which
It's-
you want to go now?
Well, let's see. Let me look. It's your government. Okay, that's not there.
The listing of city department, yeah, that was the one we just did.
Yes, this is it. This has listings of elected officials. Looking down the left side, we already know who gets elected. And looking down at departments and bureaus, boards and commissions, council committees, neighborhood councils, yay. Over through the center, council votes, council vote results, file management system, subscribe to council meeting agendas, top 10 popular city council files, meetings. You know, you can listen to the meetings, or you can watch them on your computer. You know that? Did everyone know that? No. And I have to say, it's a lot friendlier to do it from your computer at home than it is to sit all day long in city council and maybe take notes. It's really tough. You may not hear everything. So watching from home is a really good alternative. Over here on the right, LA calendar, city council meeting and committee calendar. If you're, you know, you can go to committee meetings. You can look on the calendar and go to meetings for the public. Tomorrow, city council meets. You can look at the agenda. And then, are you familiar with council files? Looking over there, item number 18, you can click on that. It'll take you to the council file. Let's look at a council file. Yay. Okay. When you look at a council file, I find the really good things to look at are the reports and the attachments, especially the attachments to the reports. And then you'll have a good idea of what's happening. I also find it interesting to look at statements from the public. There aren't any on this particular matter. Oh yeah, there's a speaker card, but that just shows the name of the speaker. Wayne from Encino, he's often there. I believe Herman is too. Another thing that I can suggest is if you're looking at a council file and you're on a committee in your neighborhood council and you want to see what other neighborhood councils may have written for their community impact statements, that's where you look. You can get a lot of good ideas from there.
You look on this, the LA City Clerk Connect?
Yep. So let's look at the CAO websites. First, we can look at the LA org chart. So we're going to type in up there on the top.
You know, the CAO website?
It's cao.lacity.org, MISC, laorgchart.pdf. And that's in your book, but you may not always have your book handy, so you can find it here on the website. What you have there is Appendix A.
And you wanted the chart?
Oh, why don't you stay there for a minute, since you're there, and scroll down. Table of contents. Look at everything that's here. History of the city, economic and demographic information, municipal government, budget and financial operations, fund revenue sources, and on and on. It's 95 pages of really important information, including a whole bunch of general budget information. You can get a really good picture here.
Including some that's kind of hidden.
Sorry?
Some that's kind of hidden. The keyword that just leapt out at me on the screen were workers' compensation and risk retention. Those are two things that really drive up a lot of departments' budgets.
Mm-hmm. We call those things liabilities. And then, of course, there's pensions, too.
Opportunities.
Okay, let's look at the org chart if we can find that. Yes. You have the link? It's right here. Great. How about city budget information? Let's look at controller data. It's controllerdata.lacity.org. There is a wealth of information here. In fact, it's, in my opinion, overwhelming. But if there's something specific that you need and you think it's going to be here, give it a try. Let's click on revenue. Okay. Revenue by month, oh my goodness. Well, this is very complex.
Some of them look like 2014. Is it updated 2018?
All the
My goodness.
Doesn't the controller do audits of different departments, Barbara? Doesn't the controller do audits of different departments?
Yes.
Be able to access the ones for the departments we're
Right. Look for them there. They should be there because I believe the controller is very concerned about transparency and would put those reports on the website. I'm not sure where to find them, but I think that is a very interesting area that we should be looking at. Yes.
Well, this again, 2012, so are they doing these audits in the past? So these are all like several years old.
The audits are all 7 years old?
7, yeah.
Ooh.
No, I'm
No,
asking
no,
you, several years old.
There's, on open data, you have a lot of data sets, and some are since 2000.
That's since
Since
fiscal year
2012.
2012. Beginning was 2012, which is when he put together the website.
It has been dated in June 2018. So we can get the last one's available is May.
I think
I was just
2012
looking
was
at
the
the last
first
one,
year
yeah,
Galford was elected.
2012.
If you want, you can export the data and
Oh, in Excel, so you
in Excel, and then you can play with it if you want.
Oh, make it what you want it to be? Oh.
Don't change it, just read it the way you want.
Let's go to the CAO's website at cao.laCity.org/caoabout.htm.
Sorry, where you want to go? Video about?
The city administrative officer, who is known as the CAO, reports to the mayor and the city council. He has 2 bosses, the mayor and the 15 people on the city council. He reports on preparation of the city budget. He plans and directs the administration of the budget. The CAO does studies and investigations, carries out research, and makes recommendations on a wide variety of city management matters. There's the CAO. Okay, let's go to the index. Yes. And you'll see here there are multiple reports that the CAO and his staff have prepared. And there are lots of links to detailed city budget information. Let's hit budget and financial information in the left column. Okay. Here we have the white book, but notice this year's budget isn't there yet. Why? Anyone want to guess?
The fiscal year hasn't started?
Speak up, please.
The fiscal year hasn't started?
It has started. It started July 1st. Another guess?
Has it been approved? Hasn't been passed?
It has been approved. It was approved in May by, the city council and sent to the mayor for his approval. Yes. The council has to,
They sit out in recess and so they haven't implemented anything or allocated anything?
Absenteeism, she's basically saying, haven't been available.
I'm going to tell you why.
Thank you.
It's gone to print. It hasn't been printed yet. And they want to put it on the website according to the pages that are in the books that are printed. There's a pile of books for the budget every year this tall. Right now, there's a pile this tall, but it's the proposed budget because the final budget, which has quite a number of changes from the proposed budget, has not yet been printed. That's why. And in fact, when you go to the websites to find your information from fiscal year 2018-2019, and if you can't find that yet, go to the proposed, if it's here someplace. Oh, right here,
You got
proposed.
passed in May, and it hasn't been underneath mayor's report. When was it passed?
May. I know, this is August, I know.
End of May.
So when do you think it'll be printed?
I think it should be there now, but.
Well, I understand, well, that's the
Well,
question.
interestingly, I spoke with a person in the CAO's office who is in charge of keeping track of the pile of books, and she made it sound like it was coming out pretty quick, and that was a few weeks ago. So I would be looking for it any day now. This is the proposed. And that's one of the 7 books. Okay, what does this
It's not
book have?
So we can look at it, but it doesn't mean anything because it's not final.
Right, it's not final, but you know what? It's darn close to final. And when we take a look at the talking points, you can see how you can talk around that because of what some of the points are on that list of talking points. Okay, let's look at is this the index page? Yes, it is. There's budget information including annual budget summaries, adopted budgets, supplements to adopted budgets, quarterly financial status reports, and that's really important, the quarterly financial, it's up under White Books. There it is. That's called FSRs, and that's because the money that the city has in its budget, the revenue, the expenditures are going to change throughout the year. And when it requires going back to City Council for a new request, those requests will be outlined in the FSRs. And they come out quarterly so that you can see what's happening with the budget throughout the year by looking at the FSRs. Also on this site are Budget and Finance Committee deliberations, budget memos, Neighborhood Council Budget Day Presentation 2016, and proposed budgets all the way back to 2003, 2004.
All this is available to the public.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anybody, anywhere can look this up and see.
But before you were a budget advocate, did you look on this site?
I didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
This is
So I
for
think
kids
in
school
all
writing
in all
reports.
reality, there might not be too many people who are looking at this site, but maybe if they have questions, they should. And you can tell them where to look. Okay, the final link on this page we don't need to go to because we already saw it, the 2020 reports. Turning the page. Looking at pages 6 and 7 together, you'll see that the first page, page 6, has a bunch of links where you can find information about the departments that you're going to visit.